Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the 2014 Putnam Chamber of Commerce and Putnam League of Women Voters. I'm sorry, it's Mahopac Carmel.
Nope.
I'm sorry, Putnam Chamber of Commerce and the Putnam County League of Women Voters candidate for welcome. My name is Mark Pikowski, and it is my pleasure to welcome you here tonight. I am, believe it or not, a member of the Putnam County League of Women Voters. It is not for women only. We are very pleased to see so many of you here tonight, and we are looking forward to a wonderfully informative evening. Tonight's program is basically what we will consider a meet and greet. We've invited a number of candidates for countywide, local, and statewide office to come here tonight to take the time to introduce themselves to you, tell you a little bit about themselves and their platform for election this November. Tonight's forum is not a question and answer period. It is merely a time for the candidates to introduce themselves, and to that end, we are asking all of the candidates to speak about themselves and not their opponents. We would be very grateful if there were no negative comments about any opponents, and really the candidates should speak to themselves, about themselves, and to the issues and platform that they would like the voters to hear. We're going to get underway tonight. Each candidate is going to be invited up. They will be given 3 minutes to speak. We have a timekeeper who will inform the candidates when they are approaching the 30-second mark, and they will hold up a sign when it is time to stop. Let's get things underway, and it is my pleasure to first introduce to you a candidate for the New York State Senate from the 40th District. Will you please welcome Mr. Terrence Murphy.
Well, first, good evening, everybody. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Terrence Murphy, and I'm running for New York State Senate. I'd like to quickly thank the Putnam County Chamber for hosting this great event and on the focus of economic development right here in Putnam County. 5 years ago, I stood before the residents of the town of Yorktown and pledged to be their pro-business candidate. At that time, our town was anti-business, with miles of red tape, layers of bureaucracy, and no desire for progress. I say that because I'm a small business owner and I experienced it myself. I opened my doors of Yorktown Health and Wellness in 1999, and then my family-run business in 2006. I watched our business community shrink to the point where our commercial tax base was less than 10%. As many of you know in government, when you have a weak commercial tax base, the burden falls on the backs of the taxpayers when government needs more money again. So when I got into office, I made it my mission to partner with the local business community, relying on my years as a chamber member to be an advocate for entrepreneurs and roll out the red carpet to folks looking to open up businesses in our town. Now we've ushered in more than $250 million worth of economic development, which includes several major projects such as Costco, the revitalization of the Jefferson Valley Mall, and the widening of 202. And this is exactly the type of record that I will bring to Albany. And that's one reason why I'm running. Our state ranks dead last in the nation, 50th, as being business friendly. Improving the environment for businesses in our state will be no small task. And there are 3 areas that I'd like to tackle immediately. First, it is time for all workers are viewed and paid equally by the state, despite their race or their gender. And as a councilman, I propose and pass legislation in support of equal pay for equal work. And I will continue to fight for the passage of this common sense legislation when I get to Albany. Secondly, we must immediately repeal the MTA tax and the 18A energy assessment. Right now, payroll is applied to large employers, inevitably costing us more jobs. And while the 18A energy assessment is set to be reduced and phased out by 2017, I say, why wait? And lastly, we need to support the accelerated development of green energy and green jobs in our state. In Yorktown, I paved the way for the development of one of the largest solar fields in the Northeast. Yes, you heard me right. One of the largest solar fields in the nation. I did it in Yorktown, and now I'll do it in New York for New York State. Folks, experience counts, and that's the difference between myself and my opponent. I have a proven record, and we need to get our economy back on track. Once again, I am proudly I got one more sentence. Once again, I proudly stand here as your pro-business candidate. Thank you.
Just so you know, ladies and gentlemen, I have a list of the candidates. I will be going in order by the list we have tonight. If any of the candidates are currently not here, we will go to the next candidate. And when the omitted candidate arrives, we will try to put them on as soon as possible. Now let's go to the 41st New York State Senate District. And please welcome Mr. Terry Gipson. Is Mr. Gipson here?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Terry Gipson. I represent the State Senate District 41, which covers Putnam and Dutchess County, and it's been a real pleasure to serve you here in Putnam over the last 22 months. You know, I ran for office because I was frustrated with the high cost of doing business. I was a small business owner. One of the things that we've done is create a 0% manufacturing zone here in Putnam County. If you want to make anything, you're making anything right now, we've made it more affordable to do business by eliminating a corporate tax for those manufacturers. And I look forward to going back and doing more to reduce the cost of living. I've also been able to work closely with the various towns here in Putnam that are in my district. Down in Putnam Valley, we've been able to secure funding to begin the process of building an overpass across the Taconic at the Pudding Street intersection, something I hope that we can go back and work on some more. Over in Kent, we were able to secure funding to help build the Imagination Station 2, which is a community playground there that I'm sure you all know about. I'm very happy that families and children now have a safe place to play. And over in Phillipstown, we've been working with the Regional Economic Development Council to secure funding for the new Fjord Trail, which will help tap into tourism dollars. And we've also been working to try to secure funding for green chimneys. But we've got a lot more to do. We know that in this area as well, tick-borne illness is something that everybody deals with, and we've been able to help get legislation passed to help victims suffering with Lyme disease, and look forward to going back and doing more on that. But one of the things we really have to focus on, and what I've been a lead voice on in Albany and will continue to be a lead voice on, is changing the way that we fund our public education system. If we're serious about reducing the cost of living, the cost of doing business, we have to get our school taxes under control. We can no longer ask property owners to pay the majority of public education. It's not working for our taxpayers, it's not working for our students, and it's certainly not working for our economy. So we've got to find a new way to do it. I have drafted up 3 new options that I presented to the State Senate, and I look forward to going back and finding common ground with Democrats and Republicans and anybody else that wants to work with me to solve this problem. We've got to find a way to do that. And lastly, it's just been such a pleasure serving here in Putnam County and working with you. My office has really dedicated themselves to having a top-rate constituent service program, and I'm pleased to say that in the short amount of time we've been in office, we've communicated with over 30,000 people in our district and offered a variety of different help and guidance to them. And that's our #1 goal every day, is trying to work with each and every one of you to improve the quality of your lives. It would be an honor to come back and serve you again. I look forward to that, and if you ever see me out there on the streets of Putnam, feel free to pull me over and say hello. Have a good evening.
Now also vying for a seat in the New York State Senate from the 41st District, Susan Serino.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for having me here. Thank you to the Chamber, and thank you all for coming tonight. A lot of you don't know me. My name is Sue Serino, and I'm a wife, a mom, and a small business owner. And actually, I've been working since the age of 15 and have never stopped. My small business that I own is a real estate company, and back in 2007, at the beginning of the recession, we had to make some tough decisions. And one of those decisions was that we had to close an office. And if you don't have it, you don't spend it. And that's something that our government, especially Albany, really needs to learn. I know our seniors are suffering. I'm getting calls all the time that they're losing their homes, and young people can't afford to buy homes right now. So we need to make some changes. You know, it's part of my life experience. As far as my political experience, I served on a town board for a couple of years with fellow Republicans that decided to raise our taxes 19%, and I voted no, and I was not afraid to do that. And I'm on the Dutchess County Legislature serving my second term, and the same thing happened with my fellow Republicans. They decided to do an energy tax, and it was the wrong thing to do for our constituents. I couldn't picture the seniors having to put a tax on energy. So I voted no for that too. And unless you've been in that room with your fellow party and had to fight that, it's very difficult. And I'm not afraid to do that. And I'm looking forward to bringing what I have to offer to Albany. Some of the other issues right now are Common Core. Common Core should have had public input because it's all about our kids, and teacher input, and we didn't. It was the government, once again, which is wrong. I'm sorry, I have to say, I still get nervous talking in front of everybody because I'm new to this, but I'm not afraid to fight for what I believe is right for my constituents. The other thing is the MTA tax. That needs to be repealed, and there's so many people that don't realize that we pay that, all of us, when we go to renew our driver's license, when we go to register our vehicles. So it's all across the board. It needs to be repealed, and they refuse to give us an audit of what they're doing, and it's our money that's paying for it. And right now we have a $6 billion surplus. What's going to happen with that? I know people received a rebate check. Well, what about, because I've had seniors say to me, I haven't gotten a rebate check. Well, what about restoring the STAR rebate check? That would help everyone. Oh, sorry. And the other thing is too, even in the past when I was on the town board, they gave me bills that they wanted me to read. Not even read, they didn't give me the opportunity to do it. I will never ever vote on something that I'm not given the opportunity to read and to get public input. And that's all of you, my constituents. And if I'm lucky enough to be elected, I'd actually like to have a satellite office in Putnam because I think that would be really important. And I want to thank everyone for listening to me tonight and having me. Have a good night.